Hello friends, welcome back to Iron Destiny Props, and today we have a show-off of a few Graflexes I just finished up for 3 clients. All of these feature my most up-to-date accuracy mods, so let's start with this one for Sean. We went with the excellent replica flash from the Graflex shop with their most recent updated parts and details. Sean went with their aged Folmer sync pins and bulb contact, and I oriented his emitter screw drive head accurately, as well as slightly denting the knurling on the red button in keeping with all vintage red buttons. We also chose the Props Plus eBay bubble strip, which is an exact replica of an original Exactra 19 calculator strip, and I beveled the shoulder edges in order to maintain the accurately straight clamp uprights. Here we have my custom-designed RAF military stamp, which omits the numbers 6-3 after the backslash, since we currently do not have conclusive photo evidence that show its presence on the clamp bar. Doubtless it is present, but from the blurry photos we have of the real prop, it seems there is some sort of damage that is obscuring those last 2 numbers, so I've omitted that until we obtain better reference. I also machined this custom larger lever rivet, glued down over the existing one, in order to follow the real prop detail, and for accuracy, I pushed down and slightly opened the lever. For the grips, we went with Roy's WannaWanga Classic T-track, which he and I found have the correct foot width according to the real prop. Each T-track bears its own correct angles on each end, and I positioned each grip to faithfully follow the real prop. Here we have the handle rivets, which I shaved flush and glued with painted mandrel holes to give the illusion of being drilled and popped. And finally, we have the unevenly shaped D-ring clip with popped rivets and a weathered clip. Now let's take a look at Jesse's Graflex. He requested a setup in the Force Awakens and the Last Jedi Hero configuration, and we selected a vintage ink patent Graflex for the base lightsaber assembly. I extracted the stepped vintage sync pins and replaced them with a Folmer unstepped set from the Graflex shop with some subtle aging. I also machined or turned down the vintage glass eye knurling to the brass and gently weathered it and correctly oriented the emitter screw drive head. Here we have the Skywampa acrylic clamp card with a transparent board and gold leads and traces, and this is Roy's accurately designed steel clamp cover I etched with this fine grain to remain true to the real prop. We also went with his resin cast T-track grips modeled from the original hilt, and I shaved each of these rivets and popped them with a large die to achieve the proper dimple around the mandrel holes. Lastly, we have the WannaWanga TFA specific kobold clip with chrome tape installed to follow the real prop, along with a small chipped corner under the D-ring. And finally, we have the showstopper. This is Anders' vintage Folmer patent Graflex in the A New Hope setup. With the exception of a New York no-patent stamped Folmer, this is as close as you can get to the original prop from Star Wars. We have the vintage Folmer pins and glass eye with the correctly oriented screw drive head, and Anders provided me with a vintage Exactra bubble strip, which I carefully beveled on the shoulders to fit in between the clamp rails. There is one reference photo which show the bezels fairly clearly, and as I mentioned earlier, this allows for the correctly straight clamp uprights. I also made sure to remove the square lever washer and raise the clamp lever, and I also stamped the clamp bar and managed to achieve the slightly protruding lever pin, which is accurate to the original prop. We also went with WannaWanga grips, and I custom cut these as well, with accurately angled grip ends and correct positioning, and flush mount the handle rivets with painted mandrel holes. Lastly, we have an unevenly shaped WannaWanga clip and vintage D-ring. My thanks to Sean, Jesse, and Anders for these great replica and vintage commissions, and I'll be getting these shipped out to you directly. If any of you watching are interested in a commission, you're welcome to drop me a line on any of my social media profiles. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you think about the Graflex lightsaber. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.